Lately, I've been wrestling with this question. What if the life I am trying to build isn't just for me? Of course, we hear everybody talk about generational change and they're breaking cycles and everything that sounds like they're doing something. But when you really look at it from a personal perspective, what if it's not just about what I want and about what needs to happen for the next generation to actually have a different story? When I look back at the women in my life, my mom, my grandmom, and all of my family lineage up to this point, I see a lot of patterns and beliefs and cycles that some of them I see in myself today. And I didn't really realize that these were things that I inherited just by being a part of my family, whether good or bad. But you know what I see? I see a lot of sacrifices, tons and tons of hard work, dedication, adaptability, just trying to survive and carrying immense amount of responsibility that one person, especially one woman, should not even be put in a position to carry. But this is the world we live in, and there's just a lot going around that we just have to deal with. When I see all of the things that I have in my mind, literally, I did a video yesterday talking about the fact that what if some of the things that we believe were things that were put on us? This is completely an expansion of that idea. You grew up thinking that the world is one way just because that's how you were taught to see it. Or maybe not taught, but that's how you caught on seeing it through the lens of everybody who groomed you up to this point. And then you grow up and you realize a lot of these things that I even believe don't even serve me. Is this really the life that I was living all along? And just because that's your experience, you just think it's the only thing that matters and it's the only experiences. Everybody has that. Everybody thinks their experiences are the only experience because we only can see the world through our eyes. But when I look back on all of those sacrifices and on all of those things, it just really makes me wonder. At the end of the day, I don't see a lot of ownership. I don't see a lot of quote unquote the dream life. And I know these women have put in a lot. I have seen it, I've witnessed it with my own eyes. And the truth of the matter is, we can only do so much. And every single time when I have tried to question what is my purpose and what am I here for, I keep coming back to this space where I'm seeing that there's just a lot of things that since I started questioning, I don't agree with, I don't believe it. And maybe my space is just to challenge those beliefs. That's what I thought. That's what I have concluded just based on the fact that I just don't think certain things need to continue. But I am also one person, and it's also a heavy load to carry when you literally take on everything on your back and you want to be the change of everything, and people around you don't even see anything wrong. So you're literally trying to change problems that you are the only one who sees as problem. It's a very tight spot to be in because at the end of the day, you want to be respectful of how everybody sees the world and just how people want to show up in general. But it's also like, just as I explained in one of my video of just me being very delusional and saying like, don't you see this? And they're looking at me crazy like, don't you see this? It's kind of one of those things. I don't have the answers for how to literally go about changing everything in your generations. And that's not really what this video is about. It's really just about my own personal reflections and realizing that, man, even though I don't agree with these things, the Bible tells us we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, which means there are a lot of things that even in myself, even in the women in my lineage, that they would want to change. But it's not just a physical thing, it's really something that they inherited from their parents. Like I can literally go back to my grandmother that's on my mom's side. She was an orphan. She was not born with mom or dad. She grew up in a different environment, had her kids, and I can only imagine how challenging of an experience that was for her. You know, then it passed on to her having kids, and then things that she did not get that comfort and nourishment that she needed from her parents, she passed it on to her kids. Then her kids pass it on to their kids, and it's just a continuous cycle. And it's also like you want to change things that you experience for the better, and then you meet other people who just try to put a lot of trauma on you, and now you're literally out here fending for yourself because it just feels like it's me or you versus we're all together. And of course, I know I would love to think that the world is just full of love and you will see things the way that you really think, but not everybody is like that. A lot of people not necessarily are bad people, but they just have their own problems and they're trying to protect themselves. So it's just like I'm protecting myself, you're protecting yourself, and before you know it, everybody is just not really enhancing the productivity of society in terms of cohesiveness. It's really a rough place to be in because it's just like we are really stronger together and we can make so much change together. But what if you are literally the only person who see that something needs to change? You literally don't have that community to rally around to say, okay, let's do this. It's more like I've accepted that this is my reality and there's nothing that can be done about it. Now, it's just something that I cannot accept something as my reality. It doesn't matter how much I would literally be like, okay, I don't like this, and I would say, you know, complain about it or what have you. I'm still always looking for a way to solve it. Like, I cannot accept something that I don't like as my reality. It has to change. And the truth is, I don't have the power to change everything. And even though I think, based on just my experiences and how much I have resisted a lot of things that are being taught, that were taught to me, just now growing up and questioning things, there is just so much that I cannot change by myself, but at least I am willing to make an active effort to try and to change it. And that goes back to having a lot of burden, a lot of responsibilities, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of adapting, and wondering if it's helping towards the greater good or just contributing to the problem. No matter how many times I literally have had to start over, whether it's financially or emotionally or mentally, I just really have been fueled just because I don't want to pass on things that I don't think I should pass on. There's a lot of things in me that even now I've done a lot of work on myself up to this point, and there is so much more to do because there are still so many things that I am literally just realizing where they are coming from. And I take full responsibility for myself. Even if I inherited something from a previous generation, I know it's mine to either change or keep. And the work is not easy, but it's also like I would not want to be having a conversation with my kids about something that I had with a previous generation that I realize is in me. If it's a conversation, it better be about how this did not travel on to me versus this just came in. Unless it's something that I'm not aware about, because we all have blind spots, and even as much as you try to be ultimately self-aware, there are some things that slip through the cracks, right? But it's also like, this is why I say self-discovery is so important, because you really get to see who you are. Like, you literally are interacting with yourself every single day and you see how you look on the outside, but you don't see or you are on the inside, which is all your beliefs, all your habits, all of the things that you did not choose, that just you just inherited because you were around it. And if you had a choice, you probably wouldn't have chosen it, but you didn't have a choice. But now you do, because at the end of the day, when you grow up, you become the owner of your soul, of your life, of your being, right? Obviously, God is in charge, but I mean, on a earthly level, you become the person that's in charge of yourself. So you become that person who is responsible for how you show up, right? And even though you come to this space where you become so self-aware and you see all the things, you also have to accept that not everybody is going to think that what you're trying to tell them is actually to help and not an attack. And sometimes, even with the best intention, it may come off as an attack, just because some wounds really go deeper than others. But it's still something that we have to just be mindful of. But this is also one of the main reasons why it's so important for me to have options and stability, because that's not something that I see a lot in the women in my family, right? They've worked so hard, sacrificed so much, they have given everything. And when they become old, they literally are on their faces. And I do not want that to be my reality. I do not want that to be my kids' reality. I do not want that to be anybody that is currently in my life's reality, because I've seen it, and it's just a really hard space to be in, especially when you know that you've literally put in the work to not have this become your life, you know? And I don't know, I've just always had this desire from when I was a kid to be financially stable. I've never felt like I was just okay not having my own. It was just never something from I was a kid. And I talked about my first entrepreneurship journey when I was selling Bobby in primary school. And I'm glad I had that experience from a young age, because it just really got me into the groove of just thinking of how to strategic. Like, my dad gave me the raw material resources, but I was the one who sold them. I was the one who had to get creative and get customers to buy. And that has just been something that traveled with me throughout my entire life, and I'm really grateful for that experience and those other experiences too, because this is something that is way bigger than just me wanting to have money for myself. Yes, I want to travel the world, and yes, I want to be able to afford any and everything that I want, and I want to be able to also help other women, especially the ones in my family and everybody that's watching my channel, to be able to get to that place as well. But I also want my future family, the future generation, to come and not have it as hard. Not everybody has to struggle. Not everybody needs to suffer. I don't know why this has just become such a normalized thing, that everybody needs to start from the bottom. Like, some people can start from the middle and some people can start from the top too. The struggle does not have to be something that is passed on to every single generation. Like, life is hard in itself, and you may think that if the future generation come and have some money to start with, that they don't have it hard. Life is hard for everybody, and there's something that they're gonna have hard in their life. It can be something else other than financial. It can literally be. It's okay. Not everybody needs to be struggling and begging for bread. So even when I fall off my wagon and feel like I just don't even want to post, or I don't want to share my experiences and just be left alone, the passion and the drive to not pass on things is what helps me to keep getting up and show up. Because even though I'm sharing my experiences, maybe you can relate and connect, and maybe this could be the thing that helps you to get back on your journey, to not pass on things that you don't need to pass on as well. I know in this society there is a lot that forces us to go inside and just become selfish and think about ourselves only, because the truth is, when you literally give and give and give, and everybody is just taking and not pouring back into you, you want to keep your resources for yourself. I've been through this my own self, so I know it and I understand it on a deeper level. But at the end of the day, we are all connected in some way. We are all here to help each other in some way, and in whatever way you can, think about the legacy that you're passing on to the people that are to come, because they don't get to choose the life that they come into. And that can be the biggest blessing and the biggest curse, depends on where where you come from. But let's give somebody else a different starting point that we didn't have. I think that's like one of the most selfless things to do. It's not just about giving massive donations to charitable organizations so you can get it as a tax write-off or things that people can see. Sometimes it's about the things that people cannot even see, because it does way more help and it does way more healing than we can ever see with our natural eyes. This video is a very deep and personal one for me, because it just kind of connects everything, and it helps me to see that even in moments when I don't feel like I'm contributing, just the fact of me literally making this video is a contribution in a way that I can, without even seeing you, without ever even meeting you. And I hope this is something that serves as that purpose as well. I know you didn't choose how your story started, and even what's going on right now, you still may be recovering from a lot of those choices that you didn't feel like you had a say in. You're not alone. In many ways, I do feel that same way too. But it's our choice. But now we do have the choice to be able to change the rest of our lives, and possibly for the people to come. So if that's the way that we can impact, let's do that and make an impact. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Khrista-Lee and I talk all things investing in you. And please consider subscribing if you have not yet subscribed. And if you are a loyal subscriber, welcome back and thank you so much for watching. Please like the video so it can get to a lot more people, and share it with those who may not get the option to like it. Share with all your friends and family so they can hear this message and hopefully be inspired. Please comment below and let me know what is one thing that you are currently trying to not pass on to the next generation. I'd love to hear that. Follow me on all social media platforms at Khrista-Lee Amor. That's TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And I will see you in the next one tomorrow. Let's go make some mistakes. Bye.